Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon Faulkner. I'm an intern with Village Core. Our website is villagecore.org. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for this and other related events, such as interviews, tech topics, and reviews about websites and other different things that you may be interested in. With this tech topic today, I will be talking about the Galaxy S23. Which is one of the latest new Samsung phones, and kind of go over how to use it and kind of a basic overview of what it entails and whether it is the right phone for you. So as you can see here, we have the S23 and the S23 Plus in front of me. Now, the main difference between the S23 and the S23 Plus is the size and the space of the phone. So with the S23 and the S23 Plus, they're basically the same, just for some minor differences. With Samsung and Galaxy phones, they're much different from Apple phones. With the Galaxy S23, it'll be able to work with your Google account, which is something that Apple cannot do because it is not compatible with anything that is related to any Android device. Apple is completely its own separate entity when it comes to phones or other technology. When you first buy a Galaxy S23, you'll be prompted with a few fields once you open up your phone. Those fields will be asking you about your Gmail account and other information relating to yourself, and kind of keeping your phone safe. So by doing this, your email, along with all data on all other Androids, comes over to that phone simply by putting in a few personal details about yourself in order to get set up. So if we were to hit the buy now button on the Samsung website, we'd be prompted with two different kind of variations of phone. So as you can see here, we have two different phones. We have one larger and one smaller. The one that's smaller is Galaxy S23, and the S23 Plus is the bigger one. These phones do have 3 cameras, which allow you to take a lot more photos with a lot better quality, but they are very much ranging in price difference. So the S23 here costs around $800, while the Galaxy S23 Plus here costs around $1,000. Now, deals may be different based on your provider, but typically this is what the cost will be. Next, when buying this phone online or in person, you will be asked whether or not how much storage you want. And you can select 256 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes. You'll be also asked about the color of the phone that you want. So let's say I want to get a 512 gigabyte black S23 Plus. I would just simply select that, and now I have that. Samsung also has a feature where you can trade in an old phone. So you'd be able to trade in any Samsung product in order to get a little credit on it towards that phone that you are currently buying, and it'll make it a little bit cheaper based on the quality and how well the phone works that you're trading in. You'll be also asked about Samsung Care Plus, which is basically any protections on your phone, whether you need it or not. So you can select your plan, or you can just cancel and say no coverage. And then lastly, you'll be prompted to make your payment. So you can make a one-time payment if you're willing to just pay straight up, or you can pay monthly for 24 months, or you can pay in 4 installments over every 2 weeks. So there are different ways to pay for this phone and for many different Samsung products. Now let's get into actually how to set up this phone and how to basically navigate around it. Unfortunately, I do not have the phone myself, so I can't kind of show you how to use it, but I can give a verbal demonstration on how to actually use it. So as you can see, the design is inspired by nature, and when you first open up the phone, you'll be prompted with a screen that basically shows you the time and your notifications. But the difference between Samsung and iPhone is that typically your notifications will be a little bit smaller on Samsung, and you actually need to press the screen to where you want to see your notifications. But like I said before, Samsung is compatible with different Google products. So you can seamlessly bring over your email and everything like that to your new Samsung. When you first enter the phone, you'll be prompted with a screen. Let's see if I can find it. I don't think I can, but the screen basically gives you an overview of the weather, your time, a few search bar, and then a few apps on the bottom of your phone. Typically, the phones that are in what is called your dock, which is the bottom layer of the phone, that'll typically be where these buttons, as we can see here, are. They'll be typically above them. You will be able to access different apps. Some of the more common apps that are in that location are phone, text message, internet, and then a ton of other apps grouped into one folder. So you'll be able to click on that and you'll be able to scroll through your apps and see which ones you want to use. Now, as you can see here, there's more power on this phone than previous phones. I don't exactly know how much, but there is a lot more power since it is a newer device. So as you can see here, you can do your video games, or you can film different concerts or different events that you go to with the powerful cameras that come along with this phone. So as you can see how the resolution has upgraded from previous versions because it is a newer phone, as well as different kind of compatibility. So what this new phone allows you to do when first entering your phone, it allows you to kind of customize what you want. So you can go into what their version of their app store, which is the Google Play Store, and you can search for different apps that you want, such as social media apps, messaging apps, different gaming apps, different viewing apps. You can search for those and you can download them onto your device in order to have them right there. Along with Samsung, you'll be able to customize kind of where you want these apps in a specific location. It's kind of similar to the iPhone, which with the iPhone, I can customize where I want my apps to be and kind of make it a more seamless experience for myself. So you can do that with the Samsung as well. Another useful thing with the Samsung is that it does allow you to immediately look stuff up with a little Google bar displayed right there when you first open your phone. So with that Google bar, you can dictate to your phone with your voice whether you wanted to look something up, or you can use your fingers to type something in if you're trying to look for something specific. So say you want to look for what type of gift to get my grandchild. You can type that into the Google search bar, or you can dictate it in, and it will bring up a different list of different kind of things that you can buy for your grandchild. And there you go. You have a whole list right there at your fingertips. Now, along with the new Samsung is the improved camera quality and the different kind of features that come along with this. So the improvement in the camera is something that a lot of phones are trying to pride themselves in. The camera is the biggest thing that a lot of people love to use their phones for, to capture every single moment that they have. So as you can see here with the new camera, we have we have different ranges of kind of viewing and quality with the camera. So you can go for a 3x optical zoom camera, or you can go wide angle, or you can go ultra wide angle to get all the angles that are necessary. You also have a selfie camera when taking photos, but typically most people use their phone not for selfies. So with this, you can gather every single moment in a very high resolution quality. On top of this, you can go back and you can explore your photos, and actually with these newer iPhones, you get a specific date when that photo was taken, and you can add on the location of where that photo was taken. So you can go back later and say on February 22nd of 2023, I took this picture in New York City. And you can say, okay, I remember that date, and it'll save that right there for you, so you can go back and review those memories. With these phones as well, it is very easy to, they are relatively easy to use, especially with messaging, along with making phone calls. So with most phones, you'll be able to favorite contacts, which is very important for people who want to get in contact with loved ones or family members or other important people like that. You can add different contacts to your favorites menu, and it's essentially speed dialing them or speed messaging them, whether you set it up in that sort of way. This allows you to get in contact much faster, and it's right there for you to quickly make that phone call or quickly make that text message to whoever you want to make that phone call or text out to. Along with that, along with the messaging app is quite simple, actually. It allows you to get a preview of different types of people that you want to text, whether it's a loved one, family member, business partner, or anything like that. You can seamlessly send out a text message to them, and you can add a photo, a video, a voice message, emoticons, many different things like that, as well as kind of an instant connection. Now, the difference between Samsung and iPhone when it comes to messaging is that iPhone has their own specific messaging app called iMessage, which doesn't really work well with different Android phones. So if you were to try to text an Apple user, typically for them, they won't see exactly the same thing that you're seeing on your end. And the same goes for switching around the phones. Apple typically doesn't like cross messages between Android and iPhones, but they will still allow it. It may just be a little bit slower, and the photos and videos and voice messages that you send through may be a little less, may have a little less quality to them. But typically, if you're making a phone call or a text between another Android, you will have no issues, and you two will be able to send text without any issues. But that is just something to look out for when texting an Apple phone. Along with that, you can also make email seamlessly. So Samsung does offer, as soon as you download your phone, the Gmail app, which allows you to essentially just send out emails whenever you want, or receive emails about kind of different deals or about whether or not you have a job or anything like that. It allows you to set that up and get that ready for you to go as soon as possible. Because like I said before, your phone, when you first sign up with Galaxy, wants you to sign up with your Google account. So that Google account will stretch to all apps on Samsung, which makes it very easy to use. Now, there are other phones out there that you can buy with different kind of ranges of usability and also kind of different quality. So as you can see here, we have the S23 Ultra, which is different from the S23 Plus and the S20 and the S23. So with the Ultra, it's kind of it's a much bigger phone with a lot more different features to use, especially when it comes to different things like the Samsung Pen. So what the S Pen allows you to do is essentially allows you to write messages out physically on your phone, and then allows you to actually send that in as a regular text message. So if you feel like the buttons on your phone are a little bit too small, typically the way you want to go is the S23 Ultra, because you will have that usability with the pen where you can write out your message and then send it to the person that you want to receive it. You can also customize different photos with this pen. You can draw stuff, you can do many different things with the pen. The pen gives kind of a creative way of messaging along with doing many different things with your phone. On top of that, Samsung will easily keep all your dates, all your calendars right there in a seamless place where you can access them or edit them. So as you can see here, the pen is being used to create a event and a calendar. And you can kind of add on different text and different notifications to it. Along with that, the camera quality has improved. So instead of having, I believe it was 4 cameras, now this one has 5 cameras that can be utilized on the phone. So you can see that the resolution of the photos is a little bit more improved now because there are 5 cameras working at once. On top of that, Samsung does allow you to take photos in low light. So this is something that you may want to utilize when at, say, a kid's birthday party or just a party in general, or if you're just out at dinner and you want to take a photo, but there's not really good lighting, the low light camera will take in all the available light and kind of brighten up that photo for you. But generally these phones are very simplistic to use. There's no real issue when using them. It'll be able to display your battery percentage, kind of what Wi-Fi connection. They do have different accessibility settings if you do kind of need that. So it has enhanced kind of viewing opportunities for you to increase the text size in case the text on your phone is a little bit too small. You can increase the font size, or you can use a magnifying glass on the phone to increase the text to see it a lot better. On top of that, there are other devices that you can pair with your phone. So you can have a smartwatch or earbuds to go along with your phone. These typically add on to the experience, but they're not necessarily needed. But like I said before, using a Samsung is relatively straightforward if you're trying to do just the basics of making phone calls, sending emails, sending texts, things like that. It's very straightforward, and there really isn't any issue with these phones and kind of their complexity. It's very straightforward to use. And they do kind of offer different things that might be able to help you out. There are different YouTube videos out there that you can watch in order to, if you have a problem or in order to learn something new about your phone, there's always something out there for you to learn about your device. So don't be worried if you don't understand it. There are other ways to kind of figure it out. But typically it is very easy to use, and there's no real complications behind it. With Samsung, there are other kind of devices, so you can pick and choose between what phone might be right for you. If you kind of like the flip style of a phone, Samsung does now offer that. It's a modern day flip phone, which can be easily utilized, just like an old flip phone. You'd be able to flip it up, send text messages, do whatever you want with it. Once again, take quality photos, anything of that nature. You can now have it in the form of a flip phone. And it's also way more compact. So you'll be able to fit it into your pocket with no issue whatsoever. But that is really all I have for you guys today on Samsung and the S23, the Galaxy S23. So are there any questions that I may be able to answer? Let's see. Samsung does allow for as I mentioned before, a lot of times before, is the easy accessibility to different Google apps, because that's who they mainly work with, is Google. So you can easily kind of transfer everything over, and there's really no hassle behind that. Typically with an Apple product, there is a lot of hassle behind that because Apple only likes Apple. So with Samsung likes everything. So it's very easy to use when bringing data over, when bringing contacts over, unlike Apple. But they both do work just as well as each other. And they're both great products. So whether you like Apple, you can go check out prior videos that I've done before about Apple products, or you can check out more Samsung products by going to samsung.com, or just looking it up on YouTube to check out more facts about Samsung products and whether or not it's a fit for you. And that's really all I have for today. So if there are no questions, we'll end a little bit early. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. My name is Brandon Faulkner. I am an intern for Village Core. I host meetings like this on usually a daily basis, as well as different interviews that I conduct with different people who work in different fields. So be sure to check those out on YouTube or at villagecore.org, where you can watch the events live. But other than that, it was great hosting this meeting, and thank you very much for watching. Now, let's